Welcome to BookBuzz Reviews and Summaries. Within every man and woman lies a force so powerful, so immense in its potential, that it can shape destinies, carve out empires, and bring into reality the loftiest of dreams. This force is the power of growth, the ceaseless expansion of the mind, the unwavering discipline of character, and the steadfast pursuit of one's highest calling. And yet, how few recognize this power within themselves. How few cultivate it with the diligence required to transform an ordinary life into one of extraordinary achievement. But hear me now, for you stand upon the precipice of discovery. You hold in your hands the key to unlocking the greatest wealth known to mankind. Not gold, not fame, not influence, but the ability to become more, to grow beyond limitation, and to step boldly into the fullness of your potential. For growth is the true measure of success. It is not a destination, but a journey, one marked by challenge, by discipline, by the continuous refinement of mind and spirit. It is the great law governing all who rise above mediocrity, the secret known to every towering figure of history, the principle that has lifted men and women from obscurity to greatness. And now, in this book, John C. Maxwell hands you the blueprint, the 15 invaluable laws of growth. These are not mere suggestions. They are immutable laws, tested by time, proven by experience, and available to all who dare to follow them. Each law is a stepping stone, each principle a guiding light, leading you ever higher, ever forward, toward the realization of your greatest self. But beware, for knowledge without action is like a seed never planted. It holds the potential for abundance, yet remains barren. You must take these laws and weave them into the very fabric of your daily existence. You must commit to growth as the foundation of your success, the cornerstone of your ambition, the driving force behind every endeavor. So I ask you, are you ready? Are you prepared to rise above the ordinary and step into the realm of the extraordinary? The choice is yours, and the moment is now. The only question that remains is this: will you seize this opportunity to grow, to evolve, to become all that you were meant to be? For those who choose the path of growth, the rewards are limitless. And for those who do not, well, history does not remember those who refuse to rise. Choose wisely, and let us begin. The 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth. Part 1 Summary. Chapter 1. The Law of Intentionality. Growth never happens by accident. Picture a vast, untamed forest, a place where wild things grow not by design, but by chance. The trees are twisted, the roots entangled, the plants fighting for survival. This is the life of a man who does not take charge of his own growth. Growth does not occur merely because we desire it. It does not come because we wish for it, nor does it arrive on the wings of luck or fate. It must be pursued. It must be seized. It must be cultivated with the diligence of a master gardener tending to his most prized harvest. The greatest enemy of growth is passivity. Most people drift through life as aimless as a ship without a rudder, letting circumstances dictate their course. They wait for the right moment, the right teacher, the right conditions, never realizing that growth demands deliberate, intentional action. And so, the first law is clear. Decide, this very moment, that you will no longer wait for growth to come to you. Instead, you will pursue it with relentless passion. Chapter 2. The Law of Awareness. Know thyself, master thy destiny. The great Socrates once declared, know thyself. Indeed, self-awareness is the foundation of all transformation. How can a man rise if he does not first know where he stands? How can he reach the heights of greatness if he is blind to the limitations that hold him back? Each of us was born with a unique calling, a purpose, a reason for being, but the vast majority of men go to their graves having never discovered it, lost in the noise of the world, distracted by trivial pursuits, enslaved by the expectations of others. And so, I ask you, who are you? What are your strengths, your weaknesses, your deepest desires, your hidden fears? The man who takes time to reflect, to observe, to question his own patterns, he is the man who wields power over his own fate. To apply this law, I urge you, take inventory of your life. Identify the gaps between who you are and who you wish to become. Define your vision with clarity, for only when you know your true path can you walk it with purpose. Chapter 3. The Law of the Mirror. The value you place on yourself determines your success. No man can outperform his own self-image. A man who sees himself as unworthy will sabotage his own success. A woman who doubts her abilities will shrink in the face of opportunity. No external success can compensate for a poor self-concept, and so, I challenge you. How do you see yourself? Do you walk into a room with confidence, knowing your value? Or do you shrink into the background, afraid to take up space? Do you approach your goals with certainty, or do you hear the whispers of self-doubt at every turn? The truth is this: until you believe in your worth, no one else will. Your self-perception is the thermostat of your life. It sets the temperature for how much success, wealth, and happiness you will allow yourself to experience. Raise the thermostat, and you will attract greater opportunities. Lower it, and you will repel even the greatest of fortunes. So begin immediately. Speak power into your life. Eliminate self-defeating thoughts. Surround yourself with those who uplift and inspire you. See yourself as worthy, and the world will reflect that belief back to you. Chapter 4. The Law of Reflection. Pause, learn, and leap forward. The modern world is a whirlwind of constant motion. The masses race from one task to the next, filling their days with noise, distraction, and endless activity. And yet, few ever pause to reflect, to learn, to course-correct. Let me tell you something profound. Growth does not happen in motion. It happens in moments of stillness. The greatest thinkers, the most powerful leaders, the wealthiest men, they all have one thing in common. They carve out time for deep reflection. They review their progress. They extract wisdom from their experiences. They refine their strategies. Reflection is the secret weapon of high achievers, and so, I give you a challenge. Build the habit of reflection into your daily life. At the end of each day, ask yourself, what did I learn today? Where did I succeed? Where did I fall short? What will I do differently tomorrow? Write down your answers, review them, learn from them, adjust your course. For wisdom is not gained through mere experience, but through analyzed experience. Those who reflect, grow. Those who fail to reflect, repeat their mistakes endlessly. The choice, my friend, is yours. The 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth. Part 2 Summary. Chapter 5. The Law of Consistency. Motivation gets you started. Habits keep you going. Tell me, what separates those who dream from those who achieve? What is the invisible force that determines whether a man rises in power or fades into obscurity? The answer is consistency. Any man can start a journey with a burst of enthusiasm, but only those who discipline themselves to take consistent action will reach the summit of success. For motivation is fleeting, my friends. It comes and goes like the changing winds, but habit is a force as immovable as the mountains, as certain as the sunrise. Examine the lives of the most successful individuals in history. Their secret, daily, disciplined action. They did not wait for motivation. They made their efforts habitual, and so, I urge you, develop growth habits. Read every day, reflect every day, challenge yourself every day, take action every day, for the man who builds the right habits will grow unstoppably, even on days when he lacks motivation, even in times of doubt, even when circumstances seem bleak. Success is never an accident. It is the result of daily, disciplined action. Chapter 6. The Law of Environment. Surround yourself with growth-minded people. Tell me, if a seed is planted in toxic soil, can it grow? If a mighty eagle is caged with chickens, will it still soar? The truth is this: your environment dictates your potential. There are two types of people in this world. 1. Those who inspire and challenge you to grow. 2. Those who drain your energy and keep you stagnant. Your progress will never exceed the limitations of the people you surround yourself with. If you spend your time with doubters, critics, and small thinkers, their mindset will infect you like a virus. But surround yourself with ambitious, driven, growth-minded individuals, and your thinking will be elevated, your limits shattered, your potential unleashed. And so, I ask you, who do you spend your time with? Are they pulling you forward or holding you back? If you wish to grow, seek out those who challenge and inspire you, read great books, find mentors who stretch your thinking, join environments that demand your best, for growth flourishes in fertile soil. Place yourself in the right environment, and your success is inevitable. Chapter 7. The Law of Design. Create a blueprint for growth. My friends, let me give you an eternal principle. Life is either designed or defaulted. Most men live by default. They wake up each day with no plan, no strategy, no system. They drift through life like a ship without a compass, reacting instead of acting, surviving instead of thriving. But the achievers, the greats, the legends, they design their lives with purpose. They set clear goals. They establish systems for growth. They eliminate distractions that hinder progress. They structure their days to maximize results. Let me be clear. If you do not design your life, someone else will. Your employer, society, the expectations of others. Do not allow this to happen. Take control, craft your blueprint for growth, and then execute with unshakable focus. Chapter 8. The Law of Pain. Growth demands discomfort. Let me ask you, are you willing to suffer for your success? Because I tell you this, all growth comes with struggle. All expansion demands discomfort. There is no transformation without challenge, no breakthrough without pain. Look at the world's greatest minds, the wealthiest entrepreneurs, the most powerful leaders. They all suffered setbacks, failures, losses, but instead of retreating, they used pain as fuel for growth. The weak fear pain and run from it. The strong embrace pain and turn it into power. And so, I ask you, what pain are you avoiding? The pain of discipline, the pain of facing your fears, the pain of pushing through discomfort. If you truly wish to grow, then you must make pain your ally. Learn from it, use it, let it shape you into the strongest version of yourself, for pain is never wasted when it is used for growth. The 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth, Part 3 Summary. Chapter 9. The Law of the Ladder. Character builds your success. What is the foundation upon which true greatness is built? Is it intelligence? No. Is it talent? No. Is it wealth? Not even close. The foundation is character. A man may rise quickly through skill alone, but if his character is weak, his success will be temporary and fragile. Like a house built on sand, it will crumble under pressure. But the man who strengthens his character, who climbs the ladder of integrity, discipline, and perseverance, will rise higher and higher without fear of falling. Look to history. Every empire that has collapsed has done so not from external attack, but from internal corruption. The same is true for men. So I ask you, how strong is your character? Do you stand by your principles when no one is watching? Do you honor your word? Do you make decisions based on what is right, not what is easy? For character is the ladder upon which great men ascend, and without it, there is no lasting success. Chapter 10. The Law of the Rubber Band. Growth demands stretching. Let me tell you a truth that most men fear to accept. If you are not stretching, you are not growing. Like a rubber band that only serves its purpose when stretched, your mind, your abilities, and your potential can only expand when pulled beyond their limits. But beware, comfort is the silent enemy of greatness. It lulls men into complacency, making them believe they have done enough, learned enough, achieved enough, and yet, every man who has ever changed the world has done so because he refused to settle. The greatest minds stretch their thinking. The strongest leaders stretch their courage. The most successful men stretch beyond their fears. Tell me, when was the last time you pushed yourself beyond your limits? If your answer does not challenge you, then, my friend, you are shrinking, not growing. Do not fear the stretch. It is in the tension that transformation happens. Chapter 11. The Law of Trade OFFS. You must give up to go up. There is a secret that every high achiever knows in his bones. Success is not just about what you gain, but what you are willing to give up. You cannot have growth without sacrifice. The man who clings to his old ways, his bad habits, his limiting beliefs, he cannot step into his greater self. Look around you. Every man who has reached greatness has made trade-offs. They traded laziness for discipline. They traded fear for courage. They traded comfort for expansion. You must ask yourself, what are you willing to sacrifice for your growth? If you want to be wealthy, are you willing to give up wasteful spending? If you want to be a leader, are you willing to give up approval from the crowd? If you want to be extraordinary, are you willing to give up an ordinary life? Every trade-off you make either takes you closer to greatness or further away from it. Choose wisely. Chapter 12. The Law of Curiosity. Growth begins with questions. Now, let me ask you, are you still curious? For curiosity is the spark that ignites genius. Every great discovery, every breakthrough, every invention that shaped history, all were born from the relentless pursuit of knowledge. The small thinker believes he knows enough. The great achiever never stops asking questions. How can I improve? What do successful people do differently? What is holding me back? And how can I overcome it? Those who lose their curiosity become prisoners of their own ignorance, but those who nurture it unlock doors that others cannot even see. And so I challenge you. Ask more, learn more, seek more. The greater your curiosity, the greater your growth. The 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth. Part 4 Summary. Chapter 13. The Law of Modeling. Success leaves clues. There is no need to wander in the dark, no need to reinvent the wheel. Success has already been achieved. Greatness has already been unlocked. The fastest way to rise is not through trial and error, but through learning from those who have already conquered the heights you seek. Look at the most powerful, the most brilliant, the most unstoppable men and women of our time. Each one has stood on the shoulders of giants. Andrew Carnegie studied the great industrialists before him. Henry Ford modeled the innovation of his predecessors. Napoleon Hill himself learned directly from the most powerful minds of his age. And so, I ask you, who is guiding you? If you wish to accelerate your growth, find a model, a mentor, a guide. Study their moves, adopt their habits, learn from their wisdom, for the road to success is already paved. You need only walk upon it. Chapter 14. The Law of Expansion. Growth always increases your capacity. Hear me now. You are capable of more than you ever imagined. Most men limit themselves, not because they lack talent or opportunity, but because they fail to expand their vision of what is possible. You think you've hit your limit. You have not even begun. You believe you have given your best. There is more inside you waiting to be unleashed. You assume you are thinking big. You are thinking too small. Your mind is like a muscle. The more you push it, the stronger it becomes. Great men do not wait for opportunities, they create them. Great leaders do not settle for growth, they pursue it relentlessly. So I ask you, are you willing to push beyond the boundaries of what you once thought possible? For if you do, you will discover a truth that only the rarest of men ever come to know. There is no limit to how far you can rise. Chapter 15. The Law of Contribution. Growing yourself enables you to grow others. Here, my friends, lies the greatest and final truth of all. Growth is not merely for your benefit. True growth demands that you give back. Look to history. The men who have made the greatest impact were not merely successful, they were significant. They lifted others as they climbed. They empowered those around them. They built legacies that outlived them. You see, there is no real success without service. A man who grows only for himself is a tree that bears no fruit. The greatest among us are those who turn their victories into lessons for others. What will your legacy be? Will you hoard your wisdom, or will you pass the torch to those who come after you? For in the end, the only measure of a life well lived is not how much you have gained, but how much you have given. The closing charge, the master key to your destiny. And now, my friend, we stand at the gateway of your greatest transformation, for you have walked through the halls of wisdom, absorbed the laws of growth, and unlocked the secrets that separate the ordinary from the extraordinary. But hear me well, all of this knowledge is meaningless unless it is acted upon. There are two kinds of men in this world. 1. The drifter, who moves through life without direction, without growth, without purpose. a slave to circumstance, controlled by fear, forever waiting for the right time. 2. The achiever, who takes bold action, who dares to grow beyond his limits, who refuses to be bound by the chains of doubt, a master of his destiny. The question before you now is, which man will you choose to be? For know this: growth is not a luxury. It is a necessity. Success is not for the chosen few. It is for the few who choose your mind, your potential, your destiny. All of it is waiting for your command. What will you do? Will you allow these lessons to fade into memory, as so many do, or will you seize them with both hands, apply them with relentless force, and transform your life into a masterpiece of success and significance? For those who act, there is no limit to what can be achieved. For those who wait, there is only regret. Decide now, not tomorrow, not next week, not when conditions are perfect. Now, the laws of growth are yours. The path to greatness is clear. The time for hesitation is over. Go forth, expand your mind, develop your discipline, uplift those around you, and become the person you were always meant to be. Success is yours, if only you will claim it. Thanks for listening to Book Buzz Reviews and Summaries.